I had moved to Akron in 1988, just stepping off the bus from Chicago, and so I didn't have a place of my own yet. Most people probably wouldn't move from Illinois to Ohio without some type of a place to stay. But I grew up in Chicago and I spent my entire life there, never left state. So I needed to change the scenery. Uh, um, Not having a place of my own, I used a little bit of money that I did have saved up and got a hotel room. Um, the hotel was cheap enough, as it were, but I knew that I would be living week to week. So, at least for a little while, I knew that I would have to get a job. So, I remembered seeing a diner down the street from my hotel. So I left my hotel room, I walked to the diner, I went in there and I talked to Lou, who was the owner. Uh, he was also not just the owner, but the cook. And, within 5 minutes of talking to him, he hired me on the spot. He said that he needed a dishwasher. He was pretty desperate for a dishwasher. So obviously I took the job. I didn't care what the job was. I was just thankful to have a job in the first place. Uh, Working at the diner is how I met Rose. The first time I laid eyes on her, I got butterflies in my stomach. A little bit first sight sort of thing. Um, when I'd first seen her, I knew that I wanted to ask her out, but I was so taken aback by her beauty that I was just too nervous. Thankfully, she actually approached me. I didn't know how to approach her, so thankfully she approached me, and uh, she. I couldn't believe my ears when she had asked me out on a date. Uh, and yeah, I just couldn't believe how everything. I had only been in Akron for about a week, and everything was just going so great already. Uh, I had already found a job, and I now had a date. Needless to say, Rose and I, we hit it off, and um, after just a few dates, we became boyfriend and girlfriend. We were seeing each other for maybe about uh, a month and a half, maybe two, and she convinced her parents to let me move in. 3 years into our relationship, I decided that it was time for me to ask Rose to marry me. Of course, she said yes. Uh, and we didn't want to get married right away, so we decided that the wedding would cost way too much money, and uh, so we agreed to have a 2-year engagement. Um, for the first 3 years of our relationship, had we both had been saving up money, and we were trying to save up enough money to where we can move out of our parents' house and get a place of our own together. And so It took a while, but we finally got there. We got enough money. We got everything we needed. Uh, so it was in the fall of 1991 when we started looking for our own place. And it didn't take long. We didn't have to look too hard. We found this small one-story single-family home, and Rose fell in love with it right away. So we bought it. You know, it was perfect for us. It was just a single-family home. It was the two of us, and we didn't need much of anything else. So we moved in almost immediately after buying it, and for the first month that we were living there, everything was fine. Rose and I were as happy as we could be. At first, it was just small things here and there, like the car keys not being where you left them, where you know for a fact that that's where you left them. Sometimes Rose would actually accuse me of playing a prank on her and hiding some of her jewelry. But I would always tell her that I didn't touch it. It was probably just her being forgetful. But we found out later on that that was not actually the case at all. After a while, things started to get a little bit scary. One particular incident, Rose wasn't at home. She had gone out to run errands or something. And, I was home alone on the couch watching TV. It's the middle of the afternoon, so there was really uh, not anything good, not anything worth watching on. So I flipped through the channels a couple times. Eventually I landed on some daytime cooking show. I'm not sure what the host was talking about. Everything that was being said kept getting drowned out by what sounded like 100 different voices talking, whispering, and growling all at the same time. And it scared the hell out of me. After that, I felt like I was walking around in a daze. You kind of like standing on the outside looking in type of feeling. I watched myself do certain things, but I had no control over it. I couldn't stop it. And like I was just having an out of body experience almost. Um, and that's when it happened.
Experts have said there's no evidence that a haunting had ever taken place in that house. Just 2 weeks after the show aired, James was sent to prison for the murder of his wife, Rose. Was he possessed by an unseen evil? Or is it just a story he cooked up in an attempt to get away with murder?